I mean, there might be some sort of thrill attached to like putting unID'd items up, but I mean, you bring up
Definitely.
it's a good point that people want to know what they're buying, but at the same time, like it just seems so much more profitable to be able to put unID'd items up as opposed to
Well,
ID.
It typically is.
here's an interesting segue about unID items on the real money auction house. And you said it might be more profitable because people are willing to gamble on those unID items. On D2JSP, a lot of the big ticket items are packs of unID'd items because people are willing to gamble to get those perfect modifiers. So with that said, D2JSP, what do you guys think will happen to D2JSP and the real money auction house?
Probably going to take a hit, but it should survive. Just because the fact that forum gold, which is a currency for D2JSP, has a real money value. In order to generate new forum gold, you have to buy it. All the rest is traded. So it'll still survive. I think it'll definitely take a hit though.
Yeah, I agree with that. It will take a hit, but it will definitely still survive. And for the people that don't spend money or sell items for real money, that will still be used.
I really think it'll eventually just die because I mean, what are the people who are hoarding forum gold like? What's the point? It is well, you could probably drop as soon as D3 comes out, drop your uh, D2 JSP account, drop all your forum gold, and just start from scratch on the real money auction house because like, what are you gonna buy with all your forum gold?
There's a lot of other games other than just Diablo 2 on JSP.
That's true.
People are going to want to be able to use that forum gold in other games as well. You're right, but people might be thinking, I'll dump all my forum gold off the beginning, get a head start on the real money auction house.
I'll be doing it.
I'll be doing it as well.
If people are willing to trade items off the top of off the top of the release for forum gold, and you know you're going to be trying to play the real money auction house, why not dump a bunch of FG for items and get yourself a head start on the real money auction house? I think that's probably a solid idea if you plan on playing cash games on the money auction house.
True, but if everyone does that, then it's going to be difficult, and it's immediately going to devalue things. So,
But I feel like as soon as Diablo 3 comes out, people won't be trading forum gold for that game because like if someone, let's say someone finds a great like this awesome axe and you contact him, you're like, I'll buy that, like he has an account on the forums and you ask him, well, I'll buy that for 100 forum gold or whatever, and he says, no, I'm just gonna sell it for real money. Like, what's his incentive to give it to you for forum gold unless he, I mean, needs the forum gold? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he'll just go straight to the real money auction house.
Something you have to remember also is just because we know about D2JSP doesn't mean the majority of people that play Diablo 3 will. D2JSP is still not, even in the Diablo 2 community, it's not 100% known. So like you still have people that go into trading games and try to trade their stuff, and then they're like, well, they're considered nubs because they're not using D2JSP because it's so much easier on JSP. But the fact is, when people start playing Diablo 3, it's going to be a lot of WoW players, I think. So you're going to have a lot of WoW players that come into Diablo 3 that have never heard of D2JSP. And you're going to have, people bringing in their buddies that never even played Diablo 2. So JSP, not that much of an issue. And if it is, I'll be kind of surprised.
yeah, you totally, it's a good point you bring up because I'd say on the US East forum of D2JSP, their average is about 300 viewers at a time. So if you think if Diablo 3 has any sort of success in the launch like StarCraft 2 did, which I would expect it would, that's what, roughly 1 million people per server. So the vast, vast majority of people are going to have no idea about D2JSP and don't know exactly whether or not that's a good or bad thing.
Right, and if there's more people like that play Diablo 3, say there's 1 million, okay, and say just a quarter of those million use JSP. Well, now forum gold becomes more valuable also because there's more of a demand for it. So, unless they go and buy forum gold, so now they have to weigh: is it better buying the item on the auction house for real money or buying the forum gold for real money, and then thinking about the ratio that it would take to get that item that they want. Um, There's going to be a lot more competition for Form Gold if that's the case.
Indeed, it could bring out actually a positive change rather than a negative one. But ultimately, I think we'll just have to wait and see.
I think it'll be interesting to see like the exchange rate between real money, Form Gold, and in-game gold from Diablo 3.
Yeah, that's like a three-way, four-way exchange rate if you consider FG as still a valid currency for D3. I just want to point out on D2JSP, basically you're spending your real money for Form Gold, and then Form Gold is traded for items. Now, the only supposed legal way to obtain Form Gold other than trading items is buying it right off the site. And the best value you can get at a retail value is 3,175 Form Gold for $100. So that's what, about 32 Form Gold for $1? Is my math right?
Yep, that's right.
So, now you can, all right, so now you can say in your head, $1 is 32 Form Gold. And you go into the real money auction house and you see a piece of armor. It costs $2. That's 64 Form Gold. Maybe there's a way to get it on JSP for 25 Form Gold. You buy it on JSP, and now you resell it, and you basically double your money.
And you have Form Gold left over.
Exactly, and the people that know how to use both in the long run are going to do way better than the people that don't know about JSP.
The only issue is going to be whether people find it necessary to even use JSP for Diablo 3. That's going to be the big thing. Is the community going to splash over and they're going to continue the same trading styles?
Well, you've got the people that have been building up Form Gold for a long time that are planning for Diablo 3. And just because we're going to love Diablo 3 doesn't mean everybody that starts playing it will. There might be a lot of people like our buddy Alex who starts playing it and he may say he doesn't like the game at all. So let's just assume that he had a lot of Form Gold. He might have that Form Gold ready to spend on Diablo 3, but he may not like it.
So if we think about converting Form Gold to money, it's about 32 Form Gold for $1. Now, there are some people on JSP who have literally 100,000 Form Gold. Now, if you convert that, that's $3,100. So think about how powerful they could be on the real money auction house if items are going for like $1 or $2. They can control a large portion of the real money auction house. So I think people who have built up a huge FG stat, they're gonna want to continue using JSP because it's gonna give them power on the real money auction house.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree with that.
If they can properly manipulate it.
Just keep in mind, for anyone who's listening, that people who have that much Form Gold are few and far between. And a lot of them either get that money by buying it, but most of those people, I think, get it from being super aggressive in poker. So there's not going to be that many people that have that much.
Yeah, it's all top poker players or donators, big time.
Man, I could have made a killing.
But
Form Gold.
and those amounts, those huge amounts fluctuate though. Like they could have like 100K, and the next day they might have 0, literally. So.
Good reference to our friend Groff right there.
Got to know when to cash in. Shout out to Groff.
Shout out to Groff.
Positive energy Groff. Shout out to my friend Groff.
Goes from 64,000 to 25.
Is Groff on the site? Is Groff on the site?
Groff needs to be on the site.
No, he doesn't even listen to this. Then.
He's gonna be listening to this now that we shouted him out. He's gonna love it.
He's not gonna be happy with us though, talking ill of him.
Hey.
He is a positive man, though. He's doing good things in real life. Lots of good things.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Good. Now, since we're on the topic of JSP, which is a third-party site, a lot of the concern about the Real Money Auction House one of the reasons that Blizzard gave for putting in the Real Money Auction House is to eliminate the third-party sites. Now, those are basically run by botters, hackers, dupers, quote-unquote gold farmers who may or may not be Chinese. So I think one thing with Diablo 3 is that it's going to cost literally $60 for a CD key, and botters are not going to be willing to risk $60 after $60 after $60 of getting banned. So I think botters won't be that much of an issue, but I think hacking will be.
No, they won't be
Not
willing to
necessarily
resist
hacking,
the-
but account theft.
That's what I was
that Green?
actually just going to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So I think people are going to be scared. Need to be really wary of protecting their accounts, especially since there's this new BNet money pool bank that has real money value to it.
Yeah, because not only do you lose your account, but you lose whatever money you have on that account. So that's really scary. And just think of how many people we know who look like people who are perfectly secure, who would never fall for any type of phishing, who always scan their computer, make sure they don't have any like Trojans or anything like that on there, yet they still get their account hacked. I believe that happened to you once, Keizo, didn't it?
It didn't WoW, but I was thinking about
That's
the
what I'm
time.
referring to.
The time it happened to you playing Diablo 2 when you were just a little boy.
Okay, you're gonna have to cut that because that's unnecessary.
Leave it. Got him.
And to make sure we're cutting it, fucking fucker, faggot, dickhead,
Bob,
bastard.
our
fucking
podcast, our podcast is explicit, so.
Put the explicit tag on iTunes. Don't worry, bro.
Explicit? You motherfucker. What is... Alright, Steve Jobs. Steve
Poke the
Jobs is a
buffalo,
fucking
poke the
faggot.
buff-
He could suck
We're
my
poking the
dick.
buffalo right now.
Steve Jobs could suck my dick.
So I think a big issue with Diablo 3 is definitely going to be account security, and people are going to be scared of losing their real money, so they want to make their accounts as secure as possible. And I think one extremely good way to do that is with the Battle.net Authenticator. It works really well. I've used one for quite a while, and we're going to be giving away to one lucky listener. Not lucky because you're going to have to earn it, but one listener will receive a Battle.net Authenticator. And we're going to tell you how you're going to win it when we come back from a short break.